make sure you come back with a certificate that you can hang on the wall, not the one that requires milk. So even after I got married, I still went ahead and enrolled for a BTech. After that, I enrolled for a master's, MBA. And then after that, I enrolled for this MPhil, Master's in Philosophy and Engineering Management, which I'll be graduating cum laude next month. Yeah, I'm really happy about that. Yeah, I know, thanks. And I said, if success is measured by ring, then I don't want this ring.
Yeah.
And then for me, success is living a comfortable life and giving back to the community that raised you, adding value to other people's life, raising our children to do better than us. Back then it was easy to find work, by the way. These days I think it's difficult. I mean, I'll wake up and tell myself that I'm going to work for your consultant next month. That is every day, baby steps. Yeah. But you need to do it every day.
Compound.
If you stop, then you know you are not going to achieve your dream. If I can tell you how I enrolled for my MBA, coming with a technical qualification, I didn't qualify. If you cannot help them, the least that you can do is don't help them.
Exactly.
So I like helping people. It gives me joy. I really get immense joy when somebody comes to me and say, "Oh, Moloko, thank you. I did it. I got the job. Yes. Oh, this is where I am. Oh, I took your advice. I did." I'm like, wow. We are the first generations to make it this far. My family, if I tell you, my sister studied social work, my brother architect, I studied civil.
That's one thing again, yes.
Maria studied actuarial science, Mama City studied computer science, Joey studied economics and econometrics. So my mother and my father made sure that they laid a solid foundation of where they've never been. My mother never worked a single day before. My father was a prison warden. But what came out of that? And then that guy went and drilled directly on the base of the palm. Oh, sorry. You know why I'm glad there was no technology this advanced when I was young? Because you don't have a video that you can go and for me, because if it wasn't for those two, I don't think I was going to finish my research. I was going to drop out actually.
Yeah. Hi guys, welcome to P Square Podcast. Today I have Miss Moloko Mohale. Welcome to P Square Podcast.
Thank you. It's a great honor to be here.
Well, it's going to be a great time that we're going to have here. So 1 hour for our chat. So let's start first with our moments. Just pick 2 cards randomly.
Interesting.
And just give them to
me. What am I letting myself into? Only 2.
Well, you are here. Oh, you picked it. Perfect. I love it. Thank you.
It was an accident.
It's never an accident. So, what 2 items would you grab if your house was on fire?
Well, I'll grab my children. I hope they are not part of the items. But luckily they are older, so they'll run out. I'll grab my handbag because my phone, my car keys must be in there.
Okay.
And another file that contains the birth certificate.
That's it.
The file contains the birth certificate, all the certificates. I learned that from my mom.
Yeah, okay, perfect. Then let's see, second one, what hurt your feelings? How do you act when your feelings are hurt?
Sure. I think the one thing that hurt my feelings is still, I think, hurting me even to this day. Is this divorce process that I'm in. I moved away from a marriage of 20 years. It was not an easy decision to make, but had to make that decision with all the things that I was exposed to, my children were exposed to, and then I had to make that decision. And the sad part is the process is still hurting my children and it's not done yet, but I'm hoping it will come to an end. And what I do with that, I hide behind my studies. I just study.
You just study.
It helps me to keep my mind sane.
Yeah.
So studying is a safe space, and there's a lot of reasons why I study.
It's a good thing you chose like a positive thing to deal with what you're going through instead of like other things like smoking, whatever people are doing. You chose a good one.
Yeah, but I chose that. It's been a while that I've been studying. My father actually is the one person that said something to me many years ago that is still playing over and over in my head. if I can, I'm deviating now. You are interviewing me, but now I'm making it all about me.
No, we're gonna get to that part as well. Like,
okay,
I have a lot of things about your father as well. So
oh, okay, yeah. So when he dropped me off at the bus station to go to Val, because I come from Moloko and I studied in Fanabale, and I've never been there before, by the way. He dropped me off at a bus station, and then I found my way to Val. At that time, we didn't have cell phones. We didn't have like, how do you just drop your child in a bus stop and then they go to a place you don't know yourself, but they get there safe, right? And we made it, and we're still here. But yeah, so when my father dropped me off that day, he looked at me and he said, make sure you come back with a certificate that you can hang on the wall, not the one that requires milk. So there's a lot of things that my father said. So when I'm alone trying to recall some of the interesting conversations I had with my dad, I actually laugh and smile, and I share them with my kids. I know sometimes they may not believe me, but they really did happen. And I wish he was still alive so that I can go back and say to him, did I turn out well? Are you still very worried that I'm not maybe pursuing the path that you wanted? But he really left a huge mark in my life, and I think he's my pillar of strength, if I can call it that. He still inspires me to this day, and it saddened me for my children that they don't have a good relationship with their father, because I had an amazing relationship with my dad, and every time I talk about him, I need to be mindful of the fact that they don't have that type of a relationship. I even tried to ask for the courts to help me to have the father being present in the youngest one's life, and he rejected it. So, but don't worry, that is.
But we're gonna go back to we're gonna go back to your father, because the conversation I had with your sister and your mentor, they told me fantastic stories. So we have to come back to that again.
Okay.
So the favorite, I said 2, you chose 3. So let's see this one. If you have to choose only 3 words to describe yourself, what would you say? Wow. Actually, let's put it this way. I'm twisting that question.
Okay.
If you have to remove where you're from, like your name, what you do, your work, your qualification, and I ask you, tell me about yourself, what would you say?
If I remove your tell us about yourself for an interview that I like so much when I people.
Remove all the titles. I'm a mother. I was married.
You don't want to hear
work.
You don't want to hear all of that. Wow.
Actually, I was thinking about it. I was like, I'm going to ask you this, and I have the answer for you. But
I would love to hear what you had in mind for me. Well, if I were to remove all the accolades and maybe the marriage and stuff, I'm a young girl that grew up in Polokwane. I was born. Well, funny story. I was born at home, not in a hospital. My mother, when she was expecting me, my parents used to stay in Tembisa, and then my grandparents had a house in Tembisa, and they had another house in the outskirts of Polokwane, Ramatlala, Mametlare. I don't know if I'm sure you've never heard of that place.
No.
Yeah, so my mother and my dad visited the area for the weekend, and then when they were supposed to go back, it was time for my arrival.
Okay.
And they were very far from the hospitals and everything, and my grandmother was the midwife and helped me to be delivered, and after that she named me after her.
Okay, that's very
I was born at home, so I don't have the hospital experience.
And one of the things that sister mentioned, like the reason maybe why about the both of you are close is because
Joey.
Joey, please forgive me if I mess it up, but she mentioned the reason why you guys are close is like your name and the person that is named after her, they were close together. That's why
they were husband and wife.
Yes,
Joey is named after my grandfather. My grandfather is Johannes, and then they just changed the name to a female version to Johanna, but we call her Joey. She doesn't like
the Johanna.
I can't edit that one out. She's going to kill me. So Joey is named after my grandfather, and I'm named after my grandmother. And we are very close. Like, Joey knows me better than I know myself. If I go missing or my mother doesn't know where I am, the first person she calls is Joey.
Yeah, and she mentioned one time, like if you go missing, then they call you. If they don't know where you are, like maybe you should be worried. We should call the cops because
If Joey doesn't know where I am, then yes, you call the cops because even now she knows where I am.
You see, we got perfect. And then we went through your name. I went through like a LinkedIn page, a couple of things there. But just in general, looking at your career, where you started, where you're from, like what is your overarching life goal? So like what wakes you up in the morning? I mean, it might change over time, but
no. What wakes me up in the morning? Well, what keeps me motivated and wanting to strive to better myself is my children. My children are my biggest strength, and also the learnings that I got from my dad. I believe he instilled great learnings in me to always want to achieve more. And my dad said to me that education is the one man that no one will ever take away from me. And one of the reasons why I'm taking care of this education, because if I didn't study and I've neglected myself after getting my diploma, I don't think I'll be in a position to walk away from the marriage that was no longer serving me. And I'm glad that even after I got married, I still went ahead and enrolled for a BTech. After that, I enrolled for a master's, MBA. And then after that, I enrolled for this MPhil, Master's in Philosophy and Engineering Management, which I'll be graduating cum laude next month.
Yeah.
I'm really happy about that. Yeah, no, thanks. Yeah, I'm really happy about that. And after that, my professor said, Moloko, why don't you pursue a PhD? I'm like, yeah, my old man wanted a doctor.
Yeah.
So I'll go ahead and do it. And I said to my professor, no, the divorce is still not finalized. And she said, I love Professor Marnevic. She's Annalise Marnevic. She's really amazing.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for her, I don't think I would have finished my research. It was a very tough journey. Normally the research takes 1 year, but my one took 2 years. Okay. Because every time life happened with the divorce and stuff, I put the studies.
Yeah.
I deprioritized the studies. And she always pulled me back in and said, Moloko, come, let's talk. What's going on?
Yeah.
And then I said, yeah, but I'm going to court. This is happening. And then she said, yeah, you go to court this weekend. Then what are you doing next week? I said, yeah, but she said, no. You are not going to
There's
change.
no time to feel sorry for
you are not going to change the outcome of what is currently happening. Just soldier on. And then when that happens, yes, I will be understanding and allow you to deal with your personal issues, but I still want you to get close to me. So I really appreciate Professor Annalise Marnevic. And the other thing that happened, funny story, she got her husband to be my co-supervisor. So what they did to me was, I work a lot at night. So when I knock off, I had a routine. When I study, I have a routine. I go to work, I come back, I cook, and then I sleep for 2 hours. I tell my kids, I sleep for 2 hours. After 2 hours, wake me up, because I need to have a break between work and being a student. Because when I wake up, then I'm a student. I don't read work emails. I become a full-time student. And then I'll study until 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock in the morning. And then I'll send an email around 1:30, 2 o'clock. And then I'll say, yes, at least Professor's got something to keep herself busy. Guess what? 5:15, Professor Annalise Marnevic is responding. And then I thought I have a day or two of rest. And then 15 minutes later, her husband is also responding. I'm like, yo. But I appreciate what the duo has done for me, because if it wasn't for those two, I don't think I was going to finish my research. I was going to drop out, actually. Yeah. It would have been very sad, but the reality that was happening around me did not allow me to study.
Yeah. And it's one of the things that your mentor like is just fascinated about. It's like, I don't know how the way you manage expectations in your life, the way you like, even like the way you handle like the work pressure and then the personal like things happening in your life, and you still manage to do so well. Like, it's just
but I have support. It's also part of my support. I have 3 mentors, or I had 3 mentors. When I got promoted into my current role, I went to Andrew Stazen and asked him to be my mentor, because he he is part of the people that were responsible for developing and drafting the Sasol project controls procedures standards. So I said, if the man that is behind the standard that we follow for project controls as an organization is still working for the organization, why can't I have access to him?
Exactly.
So I went to him and he coached, he mentored, he supported. And then I also went to ND because ND, from a leadership perspective, I was thrown in the deep end. I've never been a senior manager before, and then there's these expectations, and I'm like, who do I knock? Which door can I knock at, and then we'll open? And I knocked, and he said, this is not going to be an ongoing mentoring session. I'm only going to do it for 6 months. I'm like, for 6 months? He said, yes, we meet for 6 months, once a month for 6 months, 30 minutes on a Friday, and then that's it.
Yeah.
And then I never allowed that door to close.
Yes, that's good.
So what I do, I will recommend other people, and then I still keep that door open.
That's good.
And then I also I said, because I've got 2 males mentoring me, I need a female.
Yeah.
Because females are also looking at things a little bit different from the males. And I challenged myself. I went to Corne Preston. I didn't know who she was. I checked the structure, and then something said, that's my man.
Yes.
And then I approached her, and she welcomed me, and I still talk to her to this day. I have a session with her next week where I'm going to change the type of things that we look at.
Yeah.
Because remember, the mentee is the one that is driving the discussions, right?
Yeah.
And then what I love about Corne is that she will say, Moloko, you need to tell me a day in advance, what are we going to talk about?
Yes.
And then now I drafted a list of things. I said, Corne, I want to become an executive. I see myself as an executive. What am I lacking?
And exactly, that's what you meant to say, like you were an executive in the making. Definitely.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Exactly.
He never tells me that, by the way. Every time I talk every time I talk to him, he challenges me. He makes me question a lot of things. And he's like, no, you must answer this. You must always look at things from a business perspective. Don't look at things from a project controls perspective.
Yeah.
If this doesn't work, what are you going to do? What value can you bring to the entire organization? So he's always pushing me in different directions.
That's one thing about him. Like, he gives you like actions. And he mentioned like he gives actions, then you work on them and then give feedback.
Yes.
That's one thing like he appreciates. Like, there's always something, you're working towards something.
Yeah, no, he's pushing. He's one of the people that are pushing me. So now with Corne, I said, I'm going to tell her that I think I see myself as an executive, and what can we do to get me there?
Yeah.
So the discussion is happening next week. So we'll see. I know she's also...
Well, by the time she sees this, it will be later in the year. She won't even know.
Thank God. It must not be next week.
You will never be. So, but like, I framed this question based on what you posted on LinkedIn. You mentioned that we need to define success because if we don't define it, well, how will we ever know that we are truly successful, right? So just in your
when
life,
I commented on somebody else's post. Yes, I remember.
And I have it. I read it. I was like, I kept reading it. I was like, no, actually, you know what? I'm gonna take a screenshot of this. I'm gonna read it now. So, but just in your life, in work, just life, personal and work, professional, like, what does success look like to you?
Success has got different meanings. So in our culture, I think our parents or our people describe success as being married, working, having that stability in your life. And I had that, but I felt like something was missing. I felt I'm not fulfilling the mandate that I have to fulfill for being in this world, because the man I was married to didn't allow me to have friends, didn't allow me to go out. He didn't even allow me to greet men that I work with. If I meet you in public and I was with him and he said, I'm Moloko, I was going to say. So I felt I was caged, and that to me didn't feel successful. And I said, if success is measured by a ring, then I don't want this ring.
Yeah.
And then for me, success is living a comfortable life and giving back to the community that raised you, adding value to other people's life, raising our children to do better than us. That I'll tell you about my children if we have the time to talk about them, because I have very interesting conversations with them. And for me, success is looking at somebody's eyes and see happiness coming out and being part of that happiness. If I can tell you, I wish you could see the people that come to me for interview coaching. They'll be panicking. And then I ask them questions, and then because I always tell them, switch on your camera, I need to see you. And then they'll be looking up, they'll be like, no, there's this other lady that frustrated me because she wanted me to prepare her for an interview, and I was moving to Centurion. And then I called another colleague of mine, Chifua Musejo. I said, Chifua, help me. I need to prepare this woman, but my life is a mess right now. I need to move and I can't fail her.
Yeah.
And then Chifua prepped her, and then he called me back. He said, Moloko, this lady is panicking. I said, okay, fine, I'll talk to her. And then I called her. She was still like not comfortable. I said, pause, get a glass of water. And then she wanted to talk. I said, drink your water. And then she drank her water. I said, how are you feeling? She said, no, I feel okay. I said, okay, tell me about yourself. She was like, I said, nobody knows you better than you. Tell me about yourself. And then she started talking. And then after that, she said, Moloko, I don't know how you did it, but I feel calm. I said, that is all I wanted you to do. You know yourself better. Go in there and ace it. And when you go for an interview, have your water with you. Because sometimes we panic and then you forget to bring the best version of yourself out.
Yes.
And then you sell yourself short. But I find water, finding a way to keep us calm. But I tell them, relax. Don't drink too much because you might want to go to the bathroom when you're in the middle of an interview. But it helps you to calm down. So for me, success is touching people's lives and doing the best we can to help each other to reach higher grounds that we've never reached before. Because if I can tell you, my family, we are the first generations to make it this far.
Yeah.
My family, if I tell you, my sister studied social work, my brother architect, I studied civil.
That's one thing again, yes.
Maria studied actuarial science, Mama City studied computer science, Joey studied economics and econometrics. So my mother and my father made sure that they laid a solid foundation of where they've never been. My mother never worked a single day before. My father was a prison warden. But what came out of that?
Yes, I was telling your sister, I was like, your genes in your family, something else. Like everybody, like actual science, like everybody's like educated. I was like,
and So my parents laid this solid foundation for us, and then we need to lay even a better one for our children.
Yeah.
So, but I was a selfish parent. I said to my kids, none of you study engineering. If you want to be poor like me, study engineering. But my son was like, are we poor? I was like, we're not where I want to be, but we are not
poor. Where we used to be. Like,
well, I'm happy with where my children are because every journey is necessary for if I didn't get married and have the experience that I had from my marriage, I don't think I would have been the woman that I am today.
Yeah.
And I don't think we will be having this conversation. Maybe you're going to be like, not a person of interest, that one. No. But
that's one thing that happens again. Like people that I interview, I just have to feel something like this person definitely can add value into this, can help people. That's one thing. And then when I saw your post, I was like, this is my person. I kept dreading it, then I kept going to your office because I know your office was next to your.
Yes.
Like Monday to Wednesday, I was like, this person's not here. I was like, maybe I'll come back next week. Then I started asking her, like, have you seen the Moloko? I was like, no, she moved to Central. I was like, okay, now it makes sense. That's what I called you on Teams. Yeah.
No, thank you. No. Yeah, but if I didn't have the experience and the exposure that I had, I was not going to be trimmed to be this person that you see today. So I'm thankful for all the experiences that I had, good or bad, but they were all necessary. And if I had a magic wand to go back and change something, I would not change anything. Otherwise, maybe my children will not be there.
Yes.
Maybe the experiences that I have will not be there. So it's not an easy journey, but we need to live. We are here. We are placed in this world for a reason, and I don't know what that reason is. And for as long as we are here, let's make it exciting and help others.
Yes.
I like another quote by Maya Angelou. She said that if you cannot help them, the least that you can do is don't hurt them.
Exactly.
So I like helping people. It gives me joy. I really get immense joy when somebody comes to me and say, oh, Moloko, thank you. I did it. I got the job. Yes. Oh, this is where I am. Oh, I took your advice. I did. I'm like, wow. It was just a small conversation. I didn't think
it would go this far.
Yes. And then I have another lady. She's now a VP. I'm really proud of her. I won't mention names, but I used to tell her that, look, when I look at you, I see something great. She's like, no, Moloko, no. I'm like, no, I really see something amazing when I look at you. And then the other time we had a conversation when I stayed in Secunda, I found out that we were actually staying opposite each other without knowing. And I found out 2 weeks before she moved out. She moved to Joburg. And then we had dinner, we bought sushi, we had a drink, and she said, Moloko, how do we make this successful? I said, it's easy. When you move into a new space, don't go there and make changes. Go there and learn what the people are doing, what is the culture, identify the gaps, and then develop a strategy on how to fill those gaps. But when you develop that strategy, make sure that the people that you are leading are part of that, because if you develop things in isolation and then come and expect people to accept it, they're going to reject it.
Yes.
And then you're going to say people are impossible. But if you walk the journey with them, they become part of your solution. And they're the ones that are going to be advocating for the strategy that you've put on the table, and it will make your life a success. And that is what makes everyone successful.
This is what your mentor said. Executive in the making. With you talking like that? Yeah, but the post you mentioned, like this was the one I read a couple of times. How often do we truly take time to reflect on who we are, what we are navigating, and where we aspire to be? Each of us is facing unique challenges, both personally and professionally. But in the midst of it all, how do we define success? Are we clear on our goals? Are we actively working towards them? And more importantly, are we doing enough? This is just a gentle reminder to check in with yourself. Reflection isn't a luxury, but a necessity for growth.
And I wrote that in the morning. I think it was around 4 o'clock in the morning. It was a day after my birthday. And then I told you I wake up very early in the morning. And then I was awake. I started browsing on LinkedIn, and then I saw that guy. I forgot the guy's name. I saw his post.
Trevor, yes.
I read it and I'm like, wow, this is powerful. And then it made me pause and think. And then after that, I said, but how often do we really reflect? And are we really still on the journey that we define for ourselves? Or are we just going through life? Because a lot of times people are just going through life, and you ask them, where are we going with this life? They're like, I go to work, and then I go home, and then I go to work, and then I go home.
Just cycle.
And then, but I'm like, but life is not about work. If you remove work, what do you have?
Yeah.
Akesh was once my mentor, and he asked me a question that to this day I didn't answer. He said to me, if I walk into your house, your home, at the age of 60-year-old Moloko, when you open the door, what do you see? How is your environment? How is your facial expression? What are you holding in your hand? What do you see? I could not see that picture. It was a difficult question for me to answer. And he said, you don't have to answer me today. But the 60-year-old Moloko, and now that age is approaching, I'm worried. My daughter last week, she said, Mama, are you aware that in 7 years' time you'll be 53? I'm like, why are we doing maths now? She's like, yeah, you'll be 53. You're closer to 60. Like, you're going in that direction. I'm like, I guess who will be in their 30s?
Oh, wow.
And then she was not happy with that. I was like, yeah, I'm closer to 60. So I'm trying to to visualize this 60-year-old Moloko. And at the moment, she's still going through a divorce. She hasn't bought a place her children will call home. She hasn't. So I don't have this picture of the 60-year-old Moloko. Yeah. But I know it will be a happy one. Because even though at the moment I'm staying in a very small space with my children, they are happy.
Yeah.
And that makes me happy. And looking at their grades as well, there was a period where around 2023, 2024, they were not doing well. But towards the end of 2024, things started picking up. And they are doing great. My daughter is in third year, doing BCom accounting. My son is doing second year BCom law, and my baby is in grade 6. Yeah, he's 12, grade 6. And looking at them, I'm like, wow, I think I did it. Whatever the success is, I think I did it. And the type of conversations that I have with my children, last 2 weeks back, they had their first one-on-one meeting with a financial advisor. I asked my financial advisor to start talking to them, because I said to them, guys, you need to invest.
Exactly.
You cannot take the money and spend it, because that is how some of us maybe were raised. We were not taught how to be smart with money.
Yeah.
We start working, we start buying flashy cars.
Yes.
And then my son once said to me, the 20-year-old once said to me, Mama, we were taking a walk I'm staying in a small estate inside a bigger estate. So we were taking a walk inside the bigger estate. I work in the evenings, and he said, Mama, have you seen the type of cars these people have in these big houses, except for that guy who's got money, who's got this sport cars, and he's got interesting cars. He's got 6 cars in his garage, and beautiful proper cars like your G-Wagon, those toys. And then he said, except for that guy, these people here drive simple cars, and the people that are staying where we are staying, they drive nice cars. And I said, okay, Papa, what does that mean to you? He said, no. At the time, I bought him a Nissan NP200. I bought my children cars, but my son's one I sold last year when I moved to Secunda, because it's running 2 households was a little bit tricky. But I still have another car that I'm going to excite him with when the whole thing is finalized. Okay. So I can't say it on air. I'll tell you off air. So he said, Mama, the people that are staying in these small houses, they're driving fancy cars, and the people that are staying there, they are not driving nice cars, but they've got beautiful houses. I said, yes, Papa, what does it mean to you? He said, no, the car that you bought me, I'm going to drive it until the wheels fall off. I said, that's my boy. That is what I want to hear. Yeah. So now the agreement that I have with my children is that I provide a home, a shelter. I bought them cars. Well, my son doesn't have one now, but my daughter still has a car. So I bought them cars, or they have a car that they drive now. And then the agreement that we have is that they're only allowed to leave my house when they own a minimum of 5 properties. I didn't define the properties. Whether it's 5 flats or whatever, they must own at least 5 properties to their name, or have a little company that owns those properties. And then I know then they can leave my house. Because I don't want them to suffer. The industry is changing. Corporate is not like before. In the past, our parents join a company and then they work for that company until they retire. Yes. And then some of us did this, but we are still working.
Yes.
And my children, the way the companies are always restructuring, streamlining, it's concerning. And I look at my children, I'm like, but if they enter the corporate world and this is happening every 3 years or every 2 years, how will it be for them financially?
Sustainable,
Yeah, but if they own at least 5 properties and those properties are generating like a stable income for them, when that is happening, that is carrying them. And then they'll be doing other investments. And my son has got a mind of an entrepreneur, so I'm really happy with him. When he was in high school, he sold sweets. Yeah. And then he banked his first 15K. And then he opened a business account.
Okay.
And then my daughter is the accountant. I don't know how that relationship works.
Yeah.
But they're doing something about it. And when I hit rock bottom, I go to them, I'll be like, guys, loan. And they're like, my son is like, it's okay, Mama. If I give you 500 rands today and then you bring it back next week, it's extra 100 rands. I'm like, your interest are very higher than the banks. Like, but the money is readily available for you.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, it's fine.
No documentation that you need to sign.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I'll pay back, and then I always make it exciting for them. If I take 500, I bring back 1,000. I'm like, 100% profit. but I like the type of conversations that they are having. Even when we have dinner, we talk about investments. They are teaching me because I don't speak that language.
Yes.
And then they're like, Mama, there's this idea. I'm like, yes, I like ideas. Let's talk about it. So I'm really interested in seeing how are they going to turn out. Yeah. Because my daughter started she was a professional model. She was modeling, and then with the divorce, she was like, I don't like modeling anymore. So I feel like she's blaming her modeling career that there's divorce in the family.
Oh yeah.
Because it happened around the time where
maybe it wasn't happening. Like
she will come around, but yeah, I don't know. Yeah. I hope she picks it up again. Yeah. But yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. Yeah. And then one thing I just checked is I hope like your presence is felt. Everyone that exactly. I know. Yes. I mean, like checking that one of the awards that you got like on the agenda mainstream.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So looking at that and what it means to people. Yeah. So you helping people is in ways that cannot be defined, like something else. Like you touch people's lives. Like I can tell even when people comment and all that, like they find inspiration from what you do.
Wow.
So
that award, I didn't even expect it. Samantha Maposa, I don't know if you know her. Samantha Maposa Mklongo, she's a civil engineer. And then I think she's now part of business building. She was in Secunda, and then now she's working from Center. I don't know how they got to her, and then she said, "Oh no, we can. I nominate Moloko." I'm like, okay. And then somebody approached me and said, "Oh no, you were nominated by your colleagues to go represent Sasol." I'm like, me? He said, "Yeah, there's a gender mainstreaming awards. We there's a story that we want to put forward." And then Samantha wrote a story, and then she said, "Please read this story and check if whether you agree with the content." I didn't want to change it too much. I said, "It's fine," because that is the story that she has about me. And I said, I like it. And then when I got the first place, I got 2 awards. There was the first place for oil and gas, and then the second place for group 3 or something.
Yes.
And then when I got those awards, I was like, wow, I never thought the little things that one does can be recognized at that level. It was really eye-opening for me, interesting. I didn't expect it. I just went there because I was invited. I thought, there's other people from other industries who are doing great things, and then I'm just there's a number. And then my name was called.
Turns out you're the one that's doing great things. Yeah.
Not great enough. I want the women in P&E to take off the ground. If that one takes off the ground, I'll be happy. And I'm also tempted to change the name and include men. So I don't know how I'm going to do that one. I need to think about it, because I've had some comments from my male colleagues saying, yeah, everything is about women this, women that. What about the males? I said, yeah, but the mentoring circles, we will include them. As they're like, yeah, but it's always females.
Yeah.
And then I had coffee with my other colleague. I can't remember who, but it was a coffee station discussion. And he said, imagine I have my own male forum, and then I don't include women, and I know this, I'm a specialist in this, and then I can share this with only men. I said, okay, I think we need to change this.
Yeah.
So the women forum that we are going to launch, okay, maybe I must not call it a women forum. The forum that is going to be launched within P&E, it will be an inclusive one. And but the main purpose behind it is to empower women. Because if you look at the P&E leadership, there's no female representation there.
Yeah.
The P&E Exco, there's no females.
Oh,
no, there's no females.
Looking forward to seeing you in there then.
Time will tell. I see myself as an executive, so I'm just kidding.
Yeah, but throughout all this, how does it feel to live and leave impact in people's lives? Right?
Sure. Remember, I told you.
And looking at everything, like the coaching that you're doing, like, you know, talking about the forum, like, you know.
It empowers me. I feel I'm giving back, and I'm also growing. Remember, when you mentor someone in those discussions, you are also growing as a person. It's not one-sided. Although maybe some people will not come and tell you that, but from the discussions that we have, this is what spoke to me, and this made me question some things in my space, because most mentors don't share their life stories.
Yeah.
They only listen to what you want, and then they help you to get to where you want to go, but they
back a bit.
Yeah, they're just holding back a little bit. But yeah, we grow by empowering others.
Yeah.
And I feel we are the change that we've been waiting for. Barack Obama said that, right?
Yes.
He said we are the change that we seek.
Yeah.
And if we sit back and wait for somebody to fall from heaven to come and make changes, we are going to wait for eternity.
We'll wait forever, yeah. Exactly. But can you tell me, like, some of the hobbies that you have? How do this, like, translate into some aspects of your life? Sure. In hobbies that you have. If you don't, I'm gonna reveal some secrets.
Funny story. You can reveal your secrets, but I don't know if I've got any hobbies. I actually had a chat with my sister. I can't remember if it was last week or 2 weeks ago, and I said to her, "What do we really do with our lives?" And then she said, "Hey, we take care of our children." I said, "Exactly. We wake up, we cook, we clean." Well, I wake up and cook and clean, and well, I don't cook. I avoid that. But I do make sure that there's food.
Yes.
Whether I go buy or I just put something quickly together, or I bribe my daughter to cook. But there's food.
There's food.
Yes. And then after all of that is done, what is it that we do? apart from studying, because I will tell my sister, if she says, I'm coming to see you this weekend, I'm like, oh no, I'm studying this weekend. It's like, yeah, you're only studying. I said, yeah, I think we need to start finding things that we can do that makes us happy. And then with my friends, started going out a little bit. It's not really my life. It's weird, actually. I go out, I'm like, I feel like I don't belong here.
Yeah. You're like, oh, no, what? I need to go out, be with people. And then when you get there, like, this is the reason why I don't go out and be those things.
Yes. So you go there and be like, oh, I don't. But there was a time where my Jubilee's my Valtech friend. We've been friends from 1998. Mm-hmm. We came somewhere in Rosebank. We went to some restaurant on the week of my birthday. And then she asked for us to be on the stage and sing. And I told the people, guys, I cannot sing to save my life. They said, no, you are here for the fun. Sing.
Karaoke, let's go.
And then I sang. And then when I listened to that video, I'm like, I'm glad it's not on social media. But it was fun. I had a great time, but I won't go back again.
Okay, then
so I'm still trying to find out what is it really that one needs to do to keep busy, other than working and studying and being a mom. So that is still loading. So we'll find it out.
Okay.
Someday we'll revisit this conversation.
Let's revisit your high school days. The Coca-Cola show. Mufolo. Sing on the stage. How was it like winning a cooler box? Let's talk about that.
I'm going to... She said I mustn't use that word. I'm going to... Unlive her.
You're going to unlive her?
Yes.
I was technically your mother. I brought you to this life.
So... Sorry. Oh, sorry. You know why I'm glad there was no technology this advanced when I was young? Because you don't have a video that you can go and
it's just in the memory, like I still remember it here.
My young days. Yeah, there was a Coca-Cola competition, and then they wanted people to come on stage and dance. And then there was a Boom Shaka song playing. And I got on stage and I could dance like Lebo Matosa back in the days. So okay. So I went on the stage and then I did the things, and then I won a cooler box, some Coca-Cola stickers, and then I put them on the fridge at home. It was actually very funny, but wow. Yeah. She's in trouble for this one.
You see, this is what you can do. Think about the things you used to do there.
But I can't do them anymore.
Can you do them in your house, no cameras? Easy.
That moment, sure. Yeah. Of all the moments, she chooses that one. Yeah. There's a lot actually. The funny one that I have in my head was my sisters and I love BMWs. Now we all love BMWs. We are a special breed of women. So I had a run flat tire.
Okay.
And then I was like, it's a run flat. So we keep on driving. Then I was doing 80, driving, got to a point where we started smelling a burning tire. And Joey was there. Joey is always there for all these things.
But then crap.
Yes, no, Joey is always there and she's still there. So we called a tow truck, and then they came, they put my car on the loading bed. Yeah. And then the guy didn't have space in front for us, and I was with my kids. And then he said, we don't allow passengers at the back. But because it's at night, sit at the back. We said, okay. We got into the car on top of the tow truck. Mm-hmm. And as it was turning on the Middleback N11 route, it was scary. It felt like it will turn over. And the orange lights. Yes, and the orange lights were green, and Joey was there. So we were talking and laughing, but we were scared. And then after it happened, we laughed our hearts out. I'm like, the stories we are going to share with our grandchildren. Because she's always there.
She's always there.
Even after I moved out of my house and I said, I'm starting a new chapter of my life. I want to restart, refocus, re-strategize. So I need to go on a trip and then go and start. And then I said to her, I'm going to Bali. She said, no, you can't go to Bali by yourself. It's far. I said, whether you're there or you're not there, I'm going to Bali.
I'll be there.
And then she went home, told her husband, and her husband gave her money. She's like, yeah, how much is the flight ticket? I'm like, yeah, this is how much I've spent. She's like, yeah, Habib gave me the money, pay for me. There's the money. And then accommodation, we sorted it out. And she went with me. And I really had an amazing time. And I'm glad she was there. I don't know what was I going to do by myself. I've never been on holiday by myself before. And she was there.
Yeah.
Like she dropped everything. She said, no, you are not in your right state of mind. You are not going to Bali by yourself. And she came with. And we have beautiful memories and pictures of that trip.
If you guys were twins, yeah, I understand.
10 years apart. So,
yeah. So, but just taking like a high school base, right? Just taking the school journey, you have diverse set of skills, like checking the qualifications that you have. But let's say I'm a high school student right now, right? And I don't really know what I want to do with, I don't know what I want to do after school. What advice would you give me so I can just choose the right career path?
Sure, it's an interesting one because there's too many careers these days. Some of them I don't know of. But if you do something that you love, you follow your heart, you will excel in that. If you just do a career for the sake of studying, it's not going to excite you. So follow your heart.
Exactly. And just what you said with your kids, don't do engineering, just do what you like.
Yeah, so my son chose the law path and my son said, I don't like men who is a boy. And he said, I don't like men who do the things that my own father is doing. Because if I can just give you snippets of that, when I took their father for maintenance, he got there, he told the court he's not sure if he's their father. So, he's... And then that hurt my son because he said it in front of him. And because of that, he was like, yeah, no, I'm going to take care of men who don't do the right things. I'm like, a man is going to find that man as a lawyer and thinking he's going to be on his side.
He's going to be doing a lot of pro bonos to help people out.
Yeah, we'll see. But I mean, I'm interested in seeing the type of a lawyer he's going to turn out to be.
Yeah.
Because he's very quiet. He's an introvert.
Yeah, okay.
So he really keeps to himself, but he observes a lot.
Yeah.
And then after some time, he'll tell you how he feels. And if you don't listen, you'll miss important things there.
Yeah.
So I learned to listen.
Yeah. And talking about your impact, like people find like source of inspiration from your journey. And looking back again with one of your neighbors, the sister mentioned like one of the neighbors did civil engineering because
it's actually two. Yeah, so funny things. The street where we grew up, Leto is one of the guys that come from our street. Leto on some yes. So when I was young, I used to call all the kids to my home. I taught them drama, drum majorities. We were busy. I don't know why we did all of that, but yeah, my brother taught them painting because my brother is very good with a paintbrush, sketching. He's very good. My son even tried to draw something and I shared it with my brother. I was actually very happy. He drew something very beautiful and he did that when he was about 8 years old. I still have a photo. It's beautiful. I love it. And then I shared it with my brother. I said, look, your talent is also still showing somewhere in the family tree. I like it. Yeah. And then
it goes back to sometimes like as humans, like you doubt your capabilities, but people are intimidated by your potential. So what you're doing out there, like, it's like I'm not doing enough. Then someone out there's like, whatever you're doing is great, and I want to be in your shoes.
And they don't know how painful it is to be in these shoes.
Until you get into those shoes.
No, sometimes you don't think you are doing anything. Honestly, to be honest with you, helping people is something that I love doing. I started that from a very young age, keeping ourselves busy, not being on the streets, doing wrong things.
Yes.
And
it's just amazing, like in a neighborhood, you have like the Christmas lights, decorating and everything. Like this is our project manager organizing everything.
And it was just an innocent, like, I don't even know how we did that. It was Christmas, the children were home and we took candles and then cut them for everyone, lit the candles and then started singing Christmas carols. Because we see these things on TV, but we didn't do them. So why can't we bring that Christmas spirit here?
Yeah.
So I have a photo of that. Wow.
Yeah, I was like you're doing that. I was like, okay, that's good.
It was interesting childhood, but they also did things for us. When we were coming home for during the school holidays, Joey and Mama sit there the last two. They will take papers and make some interesting posters and stuff and do the welcome home things. It was fun. They made home interesting. And now we've grown and we don't do that anymore. I don't know why we stopped.
Do it again.
It won't
reignite something.
I think now we are all too busy with our lives. We are facing different challenges, dealing with different things, and now we are parents.
Yeah.
Some have got husbands, so it's
tricky. Everybody's busy.
Yeah, but yeah, those moments were fun. We should bring them back.
Yeah.
I'll invite them to a house for me when I'm done.
Yeah. And one thing that I liked was giving back to the community. Like you giving back to the community. And earlier this year you went to one of the schools in Kinross.
Yes.
Yeah, just to, what was it, to give them motivation to the grade 12 learners?
Yeah, another colleague of mine invited me and said that the teachers are saying the children are demotivated, the pass rate was very low, and then they wanted somebody to help boost their morale and then look forward to life after grade 12. And then when I got there, when I started talking, there was this other young lady looking at me, and then you could see her face brightening up. And she was like, "Did you do all the things that you say you did?" I said, "Yes, and I'm still doing some that I wish I could share now and I can't share." And then she said, "Okay, but why did the school appoint you or nominate you to go represent them in London?" I said, "I was the class captain and I think I was a good student with good grades." And then, just like, "Okay, so if I work hard, I can." I said, "There's a possibility that you will," because I also didn't expect it.
Yeah.
If I can tell you how I enrolled for my MBA, coming with a technical qualification, I didn't qualify to get into the MBA stream because I've got a BTech.
Yeah.
And then my professor came to me, Professor Osman, said, "Moloko, everyone in my class has got postgrad or honors. You don't have any of that. I'll give you a chance. But if you fail, I don't ever want to see you again." And that professor is the reason why every year at Regent Business School, there's graduations, I'm invited to sit on the stage. And then he said to me one day, "Moloko, do you see how many red gowns we have here? I would love for you to wear one of them." And then the PhD is just something that I'm keeping in mind. One day I'm going to tell him, "Oh, Prof, I'm almost there."
Remember?
So I have a lot of people, like a lot of mentors, if I can call them that. There's Professor Osman, there's Professor Annelies Marnevic, there's Professor Karl Marnevic. There's also Dr. Sam at work, working for Sasol. Yeah. Dr. Sam has been very instrumental in keeping me in check with my studies. When I do research, he will say, "Can I read your work?" and then advise. What I like about him is he's a very, sorry. I'm a bit, sorry. My apologies. Dr. Sam is a very down-to-earth guy. When I first met him, I didn't even know that he had a PhD in civil engineering. Yeah. And then he said to me, "Can I just read your work? I will just make comments, small comments, and then give support." And then his small comments are not so small. He will print it out, sit with a red pen and go through your work and be like, "Yeah, I hear what you are saying here, but you're mentioning it here for the first time. I didn't hear about it there. Yeah. I hear what you are saying." Like he will write and ask a lot of questions, and then I'll fix that and then take it back to him. He's like, "Yeah, I think now you can go and give it to your professor." And then my professor will read it and be like, when I was doing my MBA, and then my professor will read it and be like, "Just minor comments, full stop there, comma." If this professor knew that there was that professor, doctor that had to fix it up. Yeah. So Dr. Sam, even for my current studies, I still go to him and be like, "Dr. Sam, I know you are busy, but can you I'm not happy with this chapter. Just read it for me and check if whether it makes sense." And then he'll read it and be like, "Yeah, but what do you mean here?" He's a very, like, he's got a warm demeanor.
Okay.
So when you talk to him, he's very humble, but he's very smart. He will challenge you. And then he will keep in check, and I appreciate him for that. So there's a lot of people that are really supporting me. And to say I'm doing this by myself, I'll be lying to you. My children are also my biggest supporters. They did transcribe for me, by the way, for my current research. They did 8 minutes, and they were like, Mama, you don't know how you do this, but it's frustrating. We can't do this. We can't pause and listen and pause and listen.
Yeah.
I'm like, now you understand why I must sleep and wake up. And when I wake up, you guys must sleep because it must be quiet for me to work.
Yeah.
And then, but shame, they are there for me. So yeah, amazing people that are supporting us. So helping each other up, because you will never know what the other person is going through. And by doing so little for them, it will mean the world to them.
Exactly. It's just like those little things that you do, like, oh, I did nothing, but to someone else,
it means the world. Yes. Yeah. And then they will always have an aha moment. They'll say, yo, I've got an amazing manager. Somebody once told me that. And then this guy, he left corporate. He's an entrepreneur now. But when he calls me, he still calls me boss lady. I'm like, but I'm not boss lady. He's like, no, but that is how I see you. You'll always be my boss lady. I'm like, I don't feel like that anymore. And then he says, no, you're my boss lady. I'm like, wow, interesting. Yeah. So yeah.
Just how we make people feel, like it extends over time. So yeah. But looking again, like still with the high school students, like, there's a social media presence, like screen timing and all that, a lot of procrastination. People struggle with procrastination and discipline. And you have accomplished a lot while still working full time. With studies.
With a lot of procrastination along the way. No, I'm being honest. It happens. It happens.
But like, what tricks have helped you to stay, focused and avoid distractions?
It's planning and routine. Yeah. Like if you have routine, it's not easy to fall into a routine, but once you get into that routine, the rest is easy. My professor also, Professor Annalise Marnevik, once called me to class, I think beginning of this year, to motivate the guys that are busy with their research, because she said they are not working. And then I got there, I sat, I listened, and then I told them that I was sitting there last year doing exactly what you are doing. But I started a routine, and I told them that you don't have to study throughout the weekend and then you don't have a social life. But if you spend a minimum of 2 to 4 hours a day, in the evenings, of course, a minimum of 2 hours every day on your studies, you will move. And then you wake up in the morning, you still have a normal life with your family. You still go out with your friends. You still sit and watch a movie with the kids. I do that with my children. But have that 2 hour or 3 hours that you dedicate to your studies every day, baby steps. But you need to do it every day. Compound. If you stop, then you know you are not going to achieve your dream. But if you start and then you put in 8 hours, and then the next day you put 6 hours, and then you're going to put 1 hour, and then it's not going to go. But 2 hours every day.
Consistency.
It will give you what you need to achieve. So it's consistency, as you put it.
Yeah.
But it's also routine. You must have a routine. Build it in your routine, in your day-to-day work. For me, knock off sleep. I prefer the 2 hour sleep. It helps me to forget that I'm an employee. When I wake up, I'm a student. If I don't have that switch, that break, I'll be looking at my laptop, and then I'll be going through my emails. I'll be like, I didn't address this here. They need this. Let me just 2 minutes. That is a time stealer. Yeah. But if you sleep and break away from being an employee to being a student, and then you tell yourself that I'm not going to open this mailbox.
Then you don't open it.
Yeah. Don't open it. Just do your work. And if you're fortunate enough and you have 2 laptops, then use your personal laptop for your studies, and the work one, keep it there if you can. Yeah. If not, just don't open your mailbox and don't look at your work, because that 2 hours is for your studies. Your studies need it.
Sure. Okay, see. Then just checking into the work environment. Since you started, you taking Sasol out of it, because you've spent like more than 12 years Sasol, right? But when you started, like every 2 to 3 years, you change like position or company. Like, is there like a reason behind this, wisdom behind this? And
I was young. No, when I started working, well, the first job that I got, okay, a little bit of a story. The first job that I got, I volunteered while I was still a student during the school holidays. I think I mentioned it when I got here. So I volunteered. I saw a construction site, and then I went in. I told the guys I needed a job. They said, "We can't pay you." I said, "No, I don't need your money. I just want the experience." They said, "Okay, where do you stay?" I said, "In Seshego." They said, "Oh, there's a guy that is staying in Seshego. Will transport you, but we are not going to pay you." I said, "It's fine." And then they picked me up. The next day I was wearing overalls and safety boots. I was actually excited. Then I went to work for 3 weeks. And then at the end of the 3 weeks, they gave me a check of 1.5, which was a lot of money for me at the time. I appreciated it because I used that money for 3 months. And then I started working. And then after that, they gave me experiential training, because when you do a diploma, there's experiential training at the end. We built a bridge at Mopet's River. And then after that, I was like, yeah, I'm done with construction. I need consulting.
Yes.
And then I joined VNV Consulting at the time. They put me on routine maintenance, looking after the N1 from Bait Bridge to the Grand Scope Plaza. So we'll wake up in the morning, drive, write site instructions, it was like the costing work that the guys are doing now. People think it's rocket science, but I've been doing that for the longest of time, and they think it's new to me. So I'll write the site instructions, and then the payment certificates will come, we'll process them. You will check the quantities, the rates, and then you'll check if whether the work that they say they did, what they are claiming is actually what happened on site, and then submit it and get it processed. And then after that, I was like, this is boring. I'm still young. I don't see myself waking up every morning, driving on the N1, checking the guardrails and writing site instructions, seeing grass and then seeing site instructions. And then
that's why I'm laughing, but that's why your sister said, it was like, you mentioned it was like, I don't want to be on the road and the sun is on me, you know.
Yes. I got home after I worked on that project for Central when I was working for VNV. When I got home, I was brown. And then my mother was like, are you okay? I said, well, it's like, the sun burned you. So I was like, yeah, this is why I cannot be there. That is not for me. I said, I don't mind to do this when I'm old and I'm just like relaxing and I don't worry about it. But for now, it's not working for me. And then I left VNV, and then I joined DAX Consulting. And then when I joined DAX Consulting, I wanted to be a structural designer. And then I walked into one of the director's office. I said, I want to do structures. He took off his glasses. He looked at me. He said, Carol. I changed my name. When I moved to Secunda, I called myself Moloko, but I grew up being called Carol.
Yeah.
He said, Carol, stay away from structures. And then I said, okay. And then they put me on another road project. I'm like, I'm tired of roads. Civil is broad. It's not just roads. I wanted more. And then I left. Back then, it was easy to find work, by the way. These days, I think it's difficult. I mean, I'll wake up and tell myself that I'm going to work for Nyeliti Consulting next month. And guess what? I'll be working for Nyeliti Consulting the following month. And then I left VNV. I went to DAX Consulting. I left DAX Consulting. I went to Nyeliti Consulting at the time. These are old names. They changed names, by the way. I don't know the new names. I also worked for PDNA. Matt McDonald's or something like that. I don't know the new names. And then when I worked for Nyeliti Consulting, they gave me 3 projects and they gave me a car. I was very happy.
They give you a car?
They gave me a car. There was a site allowance. They gave me accommodation. They gave me a cell phone allowance. I'm like, I have arrived. And then I had those 3 projects at Mopet's, not Mopet's River, when I was with George Construction. What are the projects? I can't remember. There's Horu Irrigation Scheme. It's a Piri fencing. I can't remember the other one. There's some low-level bridge somewhere. And then I had a routine. In the morning, I wake up and then I go to this project. After that, I go to the other one. After that, I go to the other one. Then my day's over, drive back to the accommodation. Then the next day, I was staying along the river banks. What is that river? In Beggarsford. No, I forgot the name. It's a while back. And then the next morning, I will change my routine. And then the next day, I'll go to the other project. I didn't want them to know what time I come to site. Oh. Because when they know you are coming, they start doing things right. And when you are not there, they cut corners. And then I'll just rock up very early in the morning. And then we do the work. I have the meetings. I was the community liaison officer at the time. And then, it was just interesting. But I don't do the type of projects anymore. Mm-hmm. And then after that, I was like, this is boring. I need a challenge. And then I left. It was VNV, Nyeliti Consulting. I got married. I moved to Secunda. And then I joined Latachan Bauer. Now Nako LBE.
Oh, Nako, yeah.
Yes, I worked there. It was Latachan Bauer when I started. And then I was doing projects for Sasol. And it was interesting. I'm like, I want to work for this company. Because I was working for the consultants, and every time I'll go to site, do the inspections, write the reports, and explain to the guys how the work is going to be done. I had some engineers that came straight from varsity. We went to the site. I taught them how to take levels, dumpy level, and reducing a field book for site, intermediate site, back site. I don't remember how to do that. It's a while back, but I did that. So in Savin, they say you reduce a field book. So I did that, and I taught them, and then you go to the office, write a report, explain to them what went wrong. You will go and take levels on the conveyor belts and tell them that it's not straight. This is what is happening. This is not happening. It was exciting. So Sasol was attractive to me because of its variety. I don't like, if I do one thing for a very long time, it gets boring. I don't like routine.
Yeah.
And then after that, I said, I want to work for Sasol. But it was not easy to get into Sasol for me at the time. And then after I worked for the then Latachan Bauer engineers, I was like, now I need to study. This is too busy for me. And then I went to the municipality. I worked for Governing Beki and Khartsiband. And then I did my BTech. And then after I finished, I said, now I need to get busy again. I went back to Latachan Bauer engineers again. Okay. I don't burn my bridges.
Yeah.
So I went back to Latachan Bauer engineers again. I worked there. And then after some time, I was like, but I need to work for Sasol. And then I didn't get an opportunity for Sasol. I got an opportunity at Eskom. I went to Matla Power Station. I worked for Eskom from 2010 to 2012. And it was fun. I enjoyed it. I learned the boiler feed pumps. I learned, it was interesting. It was a new world to me. And then I was the only civil and structures. They call us civil and structures engineers, but I know I'm a technologist. Civil and structures engineers on site. I was the only one. And then when I was pregnant, I couldn't go to the plant. Okay. And then I asked one of my colleagues to go and do some of the drawings we didn't have. So if I were to recommend repairs or write a scope of work for repairs, I had to know what is the thickness of the slab and all of that. And I said to the guy, get the guys to code really for me on the site, determine the thickness of that, and then after that I will tell you the size of the holding down bolts that we are going to need for this base. And then that guy went and core drilled directly on the base of a pump. And then groundwater started coming out. And then he comes to me, Moloko, there's water coming out. I said, where? He said, on the base of the pump. I said, but I said, core drill on the side so that we can determine the thickness, and I will tell you how much core drilling we need to do on the base. And then, so he didn't understand. But anyway, so I called another guy from Stoneco. He came with a product that we can use to seal the groundwater, prevent it from coming up, because if we don't deal with that problem, then you put a holding down bolt, it's going to rot. Okay. And then after some time, you're going to tell me that there's high vibrations on your pumps and start complaining to the mechanical guys. But I enjoyed that work. And then one day when I was going down the blowdown sump, going to do an inspection, I was pregnant, but at the time it was early days. As I was going down that cat ladder, I'm like, if I fall here, my child is dead. And no one will know I'm in here. Because I told my colleague I'm going into the blowdown sump. He said he'll stand outside. I'm like, if this guy closes the manhole, I'm finished. It's very dark in here. You have a little light. You have an oxygen monitor. You're wearing PPE. You're going down alone. And no one can do my work because I was the only one. So I went in there to do the inspection. And then when I was there, I was like, God, I know you are listening. I cannot keep doing this to myself. I need a job where I don't have to go into blowdown sumps.
Deliver, yes.
And then shortly after that, I got a job in Sasol. When I joined Sasol, I was 8 months pregnant. Okay. And then my first manager was Christo Greek. And then when I reported for duty after the new employee orientation program, I walked in, I said, morning, Christo. He said, morning, ma'am, can I help you? I said, yeah, my name is Moloko. And then he took off his glasses and said, you're pregnant. I said, I know. I said, okay, what am I going to do with you? I said, I don't know. He said, okay, fine. Just sit, we'll sort out a laptop for you. And then the next day I came. He said, yeah, Miss Moloko, I don't know what I'm going to do with you because I can't send you to the plant. You're pregnant. And we need to take care of you. I said, I understand. He said, it's fine. Just read the procedures and the standards. And there's so much reading one can do, right? And then Christo was one of the best managers I had. And then I went on maternity leave. I came back, and then he gave me some projects. We had the shutdown ablution facilities in the plant. These face brick buildings with blue color, I think.
Yeah.
I've done that a long time ago. But that was one of my projects. And then he also gave me the media center upgrade. It's a small project I did.
Yeah.
And then after that, there was Phoenix. While I was still getting into Sasol, there was Phoenix. And then Christo called me and said, Miss Moloko, there's two options for you. They are dissolving our department. You can either go to supply chain or you go to the mining. I said, I'm married to a man that works at the mines. I don't want to go to the mines. So I said, I'll go to supply chain. And then I was afforded an opportunity to go to supply chain. And then I was the principal specialist for civil sourcing. I wrote strategies for the term agreements contracts, getting contractors to come and enter into 5-year term contracts with Sasol for maintenance. Okay. It was fun for 6 months. And then it started being repetitive. Like, I'm bored. Okay, I must study. Then I enrolled for my MBA. No, I don't like, if it's like this, I'm like, it finishes too quickly. I remember one of my manager called me, Amelia Buota. She said, Moloko, how long does it take to give birth to a child? I said, 9 months. He said, you wrote your strategy in 3 months. I said, yes. He said, did you do this? I said, yes, I did. Did you do this? Yes, I did. Did you do this? I said, I did. He said, yeah, but when I look at our process, this is how long it takes us to do this, and we need to do this for that period. We need to do this for that period. I said, okay, I understand. And then I said, Moloko, you need to keep yourself busy with something. And then I enrolled for MBA so that I don't frustrate people at work. I don't like causing chaos. So I did what was expected of me, and then I studied on the side. Then I finished. And then after that, I said to Amelia Boda that, if I look at my career, my next position is yours. Oh. She said, okay. I said, yeah, and I won't get it. She said, why? I said, I don't have people management experience. She said, okay. And I said, there's a position in group technology. She said, okay. I said, I applied for it. He said, okay. I said, it's lateral move. He said, okay. I said, will you support me? She said, it's what you want. I'll support you. Put it in your PDP. And I put it in, and she supported. And then I moved to the then group technology in the estimating department, looking after tier 4 and 5s at the time. Yes. And then I learned estimating, but I was managing the team that was doing the FID estimates. And then along the way, what happened? Group technology restructuring. Hey, what restructuring you mentioned? You're telling your kids like, hey, streamlining and everything. Remember, I'm explaining why I change jobs. The restructuring sometimes forces you to look at what you are doing and then do something else. Yeah. And then I was still kept in the same team, but my title changed from being a manager supporting estimating to lead feed estimator. And then I was now looking after the tier 1 to 4 estimates for FID. I see. Which was fun. What I love about estimating is that the work is not the same. Although estimating, the way the estimates are done is the same, but it's different projects coming. Yes. And then they keep you thinking, because when you do the squad checks and you go through it, I'm like, I always told my team that if I don't understand this, the person you are writing this for will not understand it. So I told them, if I ask you a question, it does not mean I'm trying to say something to you. I'm just saying I don't understand it. Yeah. And if I don't understand it, the person that you are writing this for, they will not understand it. Because when you put an estimate on the table, it does not belong to estimating. It belongs to the project team. The project manager needs to stand behind that estimate. Yes. And if they don't understand what you have done in there, how will they defend it? And it's theirs. So I always ask some questions, and then, but I work very well with the team. And then after that, I wanted to grow. Enough of this now, it was exciting, but I was like, I've been doing this for almost 5 years. We need change. And then I applied for a few positions within the organization. I was interviewed, and then I was told, you were our second preferred candidate. I'm like, I don't like those words. You shouldn't have said anything. Is it I got the job or not? Say you're not successful. Don't tell me that you were our second best. Yeah. I don't like those words, because I cannot compete with somebody else's experience. They have it, I don't have it.
Yeah.
And then this position came. I was told, Moloko, you applied for this position. HR called me. They said, you applied for this position. I said, yes, I did. They said, yeah, but there was this one that we feel you are best suited for. I said, oh, really? They said, yeah, but you didn't apply. I said, no, I didn't see it. And then they invited me for an interview. I was interviewed again. I asked some of my colleagues, I said, hey, I was in estimating, never done project controls before, but I know that the project controls, the cost controllers use the estimate to develop a control base. That I understand. But what are the other things that you guys are doing this side of the world that I'm not aware of? And my colleagues helped. I know Rudzani Mulaudzi sat with me and explained. I call him Kaladzi. Kaladzi is in vendor.
Okay.
So I call all the vendor guys Kaladzi. When I talk to them, I'm like, yeah, Kaladzi. So yeah, and then he explained and I was interviewed and I got the job. And then I started. And when I started with my team, I called a project controls meeting. I said to them, guys, you know project controls. I don't.
Yeah.
I am going to rely on your expertise. And if there's something that needs my attention, please don't wait for a meeting to tell me. Tell me as it's happening, and then I will find a way to resolve it. And then that helped me to start learning. And then I also went to Andrew to start coaching.
Yes.
And Andrew took it upon himself to take the training for project controls and split it into sessions. So every day we'll sit and say, okay, today we are going to discuss like a project controls manual. Today we are going to discuss this, and he will unpack it for me. I love how he's unpacking things. And the first thing that he said to me was, if I were to explain what project controls is, you are the co-pilot, the project manager is the pilot. And you are flying a plane. Your project is a plane. So you are sitting on the co-pilot seat. You need to have that manual. If the pilot says, the instruments are not working, what do I need to do? You need to be able to say, we need to do this to land this plane safely. We need to do this.
Yep.
You are that person. So if you understand that scenario, you will be able to perform in the project control space. It's like, wow, interesting. And then working with Johan was eye-opening. Johan came to me and said, Moloko, you are the senior project controls manager, right? I said, yes, Johan. He said, okay. I'm looking after the program. You are looking after project controls. So all my project controls requirements, I'm going to look into your eyes. If you don't know how to do it, we will figure it out, but you must come to me with a solution. Don't come to me with a problem. I said, say no further. I like challenges. And then it was fun. I actually enjoyed working in that project because planning. I remember when the program changed their strategy, Johan came with a process flow and said, for this type of, I can't mention the things because of the code. We signed the non-disclosure agreement, but it was split into 4, and then each leg had a certain things that we needed to do to reach a certain solution. And then he said, this is what we need to do. If you understand this, you'll be able to give me what I want. I said, will do. Put the planner in. I said, Simon, this is what we need to do. And then we started pulling things together. And then I said, okay, for this one, we need to talk to that person. Pull them in, discussed, aligned for everyone. And after we were done, called the entire team and said, this is our framework plan with our revised strategy. Any questions? And then they started asking, and they're like, oh yeah, no, we discussed that. And the other one was like, no, we discussed that. And it was so beautiful to see a meeting agreeing with everything because you had these small discussions on the side to align with everyone. And then it was approved. And then after that, we started putting together a schedule where we were sitting on a bi-weekly basis to check how far are we. Because I always want to know, I may not understand your work, but I want to know how far are you? Because we have this date to meet. And if you start falling behind, I'm failing.
Yes.
Because I'm looking after your planning, I'm looking after your cost. And if you're not doing what you said you're going to do, and I told management that we are going to deliver on that date, then
falling behind, then you also got to fall behind.
We all fall behind.
Yes.
But if a specific one starts falling behind, I take it outside the meeting. Then I have a small focus discussion with that one to understand why are they falling behind? What is it that needs to be done to help them? Who can we talk to help them?
Yeah.
And then after that, if maybe that person is too high for me, I'll go to Johan and say, Johan, the reason why we have a problem here is And then if we can pull, we'll be able to. And you're like,
say less. So sad.
And then it gets sorted and we move. So it was, the team was working together. I don't know how to describe it, but it was like a well-oiled machine.
Yeah.
Challenges were on the table, but we found ways to resolve them.
Yeah. I had questions on project controls. You got it covered. Everything.
Oh, sorry. Sorry.
Everything that I had. No, perfect. You don't have to. Perfect. Like you had everything that I wanted you out of project controls, but easy peasy. But checking, you mentioned like you worked in all this organization. You worked in municipal positions, government positions, government banking stuff, in private companies, just put Sasol there, the public companies. What do you notice about the way leadership works in different organizations? Like, are there benefits for being in each of these categories and stuff?
Well, leaders provide direction, right? And if you have a leader or a manager that is not providing direction, it makes the work difficult. And in all those companies that I had an opportunity to work for, amazing people I met, learned certain things from them, and some things I took with to try and better myself along the way. Yeah. If I can recall, when I worked for her, I had a manager, Meti Lopsha. She may her soul rest in peace. She passed away. She was an amazing, amazing leader. Challenging, but amazing. And she was keeping me on my toes. And she was very supportive. I like managers who listen, not with an intention to answer, but to understand what I'm trying to say to them. Because sometimes you try to explain something to your leadership and then they answer you before you even finish. I'm like, but you are not listening. Because you do not understand what I'm trying to say now. You don't allow me to finish. It means you've got this answer that you just want to say and you don't care what I'm trying to tell you. Yeah. But you have managers like the late Meti and Johan and some other amazing managers within the organization, Christo Griggs. They're amazing. They listen, they support, and they make you successful because they know you are there to also make them successful. We are there to make each other successful. We are not competing. We share the same mandate. There's an end goal that we need to reach as a team. And if you have a manager that can help you to understand the vision that they have and you support them to get there, it becomes as easy as...
Make work effortless.
Yes.
Yeah. See, perfect. Then they gonna go back to your father. I said we're gonna go back to that one. But before we go to that one, you being an interview coach, being a coach, coaching people, like what do you think is the biggest mistake that people make?
People undersell themselves. Like you said, you are not aware of your capabilities until you hear somebody telling you.
Yeah.
I had a colleague. Well, I still work with that colleague. And when he was going for an interview, he called me an hour before his interview. He said, Moloko, I'm going for an interview. I said, okay, tell me about yourself. He said, like, no, I work hard. I do. I said, no, I don't want to hear that. We all work hard. I said, let me tell you what I see when I look at you. You were part of this. You have done this. You have revised the processes. You have done this. You have done this. It's like, oh, that is what I see. I don't know what you see when you look in the mirror, but when I look at you, this is the package that I'm seeing. He was like, thank you. And then he went. So sometimes we never really pause and look at ourselves with the same eyes that the other people are using to look at us.
Yes.
I mean, I'm interested in hearing the things that my sister said to me because I cannot look at myself through her eyes.
Yeah.
But it's always nice to hear things that other people say about you when you are not in the room.
Exactly.
And a learning that I got a few years ago, there was a guy, I forgot his name. That guy made me pause and change the way I look at things and the way I do things. A few years back, this guy said to me, oh, you are Moloko. I said, yes. He said, oh, I heard so much about you. I said, yeah, good things, I hope. He said, yeah, no, not bad things. He said, yeah, but how I thought I knew you and what I heard is different. I said, how did you think you know me? And he said, oh, I thought if you find people burning a building, you'll help them burn it. I said, no, I'm not like that. He said, no, that is what I thought. And I said, okay. And when I was alone, I started asking myself questions. How are people perceiving me? Or why did he have that idea? And then it made me question a lot of things. He left the country, he's working in the Middle East now. I wish I could go to him and say, can we have that conversation again? Because it happened a few years back.
Yeah.
And then I said, I need to be careful and mindful of the things that I say, how I say them, and who I say them to.
Yeah.
Because sometimes this person can take what you said and then go and narrate it in a certain way, and then another person perceive it in a manner that you didn't intend it for.
The story gets lost as
in translation. Yes. But I was very worried to say, how can you make such a statement? Because I always, number one, I respect my work, and I would never do anything intentionally to damage relationships in this space that is enabling me to be able to provide food for my children.
Yes.
I would never do that. But if somebody has got a different way that they're perceiving me, in a light that I'm not seeing myself in, then I'm doing something wrong.
Exactly.
So that is why every now and then I try to pause and say, are we doing the things in the right manner? If people are not looking and somebody accidentally see me walking in Sasol after hours, crossing at a pedestrian crossing, taking the long route to get to my car, will they say she's not okay, or will they say she understands the rules? Yes. Are we doing it when people are looking? Because there was a time where I was sitting in the office and I saw some of my colleagues going into a bathroom for people with disabilities. I'm like, but they are able. But it's none of my business. And then in my head, I'm like, the reason why I like instantly, I like walking to the bathrooms and they are far. I increase steps. I do step count.
Yeah, step count. Like, hey, for today, I did my goals, yes.
My goal is 6,000, but these days I'm doing between 13 and 15,000 because Joey and I are competing. So we try to do the step counts to also try to keep ourselves fit. Mm-hmm. Because I used to go to the gym like every day. And then I had a knee injury and then I stopped. So I am waiting for my orthopedic surgeon to give me my feedback for my MRI scan that I did. And then if he tells me all systems go, I will go after my graduation. I want to wear those heels that I can't wear to work.
Yeah, but okay, let's see. You have a diploma, BTech, and then next month, you're gonna graduate.
Yes.
In Masters in Philosophy, Engineering Management.
Yes. And also have an MBA. Yes.
And now you also have an MBA.
Yes.
Like, was there like a strategic decisions to advance your career, or you just like?
Yeah. No. I have a career development plan, if I can call it that. So I have short-term goals and mid-term and long-term goals that I wanted to achieve. The BTech I just did for the sake of keeping myself busy. After I got married, I said, I'm young, I have kids, and I'm not studying. And my father said, education is the one man that no one will take away from me, and I'm neglecting this man. And then I started taking care of that man. And then for my MBA, before the MBA, I wanted to enroll for, is it MOT or MIT? MOT, Masters in Master of Technology, something. It was offered by University of Pretoria a while back when I was in ESCOM.
Okay.
And then Professor Elsabe, something I can't remember her surname, she was part of that program. And I reached out to the university and then they said to me, oh, sorry, Moloko, your average for your BTech was 63 or 64, and they wanted 65. I said, but I'm almost, she said, no, you are not. And then I was like, okay, I need to do something. And then a year later, I enrolled for the MBA. And then after I enrolled, I was told I don't qualify. I'm like, I hate hearing these words.
Yeah, you don't qualify.
But my professor said, if you fail, don't ever want to see you again. And then I went. For my research for MBA, I got 74%. I also cried. I said, I missed the distinction by 1%. That is not fair. But yeah, and then my professor said, then next time we'll make it 73, not 74. I said, it will not be a next time for me. So for my current research, I got 82%. I was like, it's not even 74, it's 82, it's not even 76. I'm like, no, it's far away.
Yes.
Yeah, but the research was really interesting. And I didn't expect the marks to be that high, honestly. Yeah. But I was expecting at least between 70 and 75, but leaning more to the 75. And then I got above that. So yeah.
Yeah. But just checking with your sister, and you mentioned like the way you value your father is like, your father is like your greatest motivation. And then you're honoring him, like it's more like of a quiet legacy. You're doing it like in an amazing manner. Like even though he's much like you still
26 years late. My father was not there to see his children graduate, unfortunately. He passed away in 1999. Yeah. And when he passed, my sister was about to graduate, the firstborn, and then the bulk of us were still studying. And some of the things that he said along the way to say, don't bring home a certificate that drinks milk. Bring home the one I can hang on the wall. Education is the one man that can take care of you. Now, with the journey that I'm on, I'm like, maybe he saw the future so that you're going to need to stand on your own. I don't know. But my father wanted me to study medicine, and I don't like the sight of blood.
Yes. One thing we have to go. Oh, yes.
Yeah, I open. Sorry.
No, I don't. I also don't like blood. Anything. Even when in high school, the teacher's like, "Hey, you doing so well? You wanna be a doctor?" Like, yeah, yes.
Open wounds for me. Sorry, I cannot stand open wounds. So when my son broke a bone, I was going out of my mind. I was crying with him. So my father wanted me to study medicine, and I cannot stand the sight of blood. And I went to VAR for wrong reasons. I wish my children are not listening to this. I went to VAR because I was dating a guy that was studying at VAR.
Okay. But that's the VAR decision.
That is the VAR decision. But I wish this didn't happen, then I would have gone to a university. But it's fine. I did qualify to go to the university, but because of personal interest, I went to VAR, and I didn't even get married to that guy. I even forgot his name. Thank God. But yeah, I made a lifelong decision for I used a short-term person for a long-term decision, which was not a smart move, but it was a learning that had to happen. Yes, okay. So my father wanted me to study medicine, don't like the sight of blood, and then the bulk of us studied different things, and I said, you know what? I know he's gone, but let me give my father the doctor that he deserves. And now that I'm busy with the divorce, when I get to the end of the journey, I plan to go back to my maiden name so that I can give my dad Dr. Moloko. Yeah. Not Mohale. Yeah.
Well, when you finish that, like it will be done.
Yes. So I'm going back to my maiden name so that my late father can have a doctor in the family.
Yeah. That's one thing your sister mentioned was like, hey, you didn't like the medicine side of things, but you're gonna make sure you become at least there's a doctor.
Yes, like I did not help people.
We can achieve both what we want in my own way, and still have a doctor.
Yes. So the reason why I'm the current PhD studies I'm doing just to honor his memory.
Yes.
My career doesn't need a PhD.
Doesn't. Yeah. Then let's see what's next for you. The book.
Yes. Finding
you. Have you ever thought about the title? That's what finding me. Yeah, it's just about like finding.
I hope nobody steals it. Copyright. I already started the first chapter. Yeah. And then the first chapter is the turning point, because there was a period where my father sent me to withdraw money at an ATM for my studies to go to school for the second semester, I think. And for some reason, they took money away from me at the ATM. It's a funny story, which to this day, I don't understand how they did it. And then when I got home, my father said, that was your registration money. So it means this semester, my child is staying here. You're not going to school. I went into my room, I cried. I said, God, I know you are there, you are listening. You are not going to do this to me. And a miracle happened that day. The same day, at home, we go to ZCC. And then a mail was delivered, scooter, back in the days, mail was delivered with a scooter.
Yes.
So the scooter came, mail was delivered, and my sister's initials is MC, and my initials are MC. So whenever there's that dispute, my father is the one that opens the letter.
Yeah.
Because we don't know.
Yeah, who it is, yeah.
Yes. So my father opened the letter and he called me. He called me Gary. It's like, Gary, and then I went, sat next to him, he said, oh, you got a bursary. I said, me? He said, yes, there's a bursary, a letter from the church saying a bursary awarded to Moloko Caroline Pogo to go study at the Val University, the Val Technicon at the time. I was like, he said, tomorrow you can pack your bags, you're going to school. You don't know how happy I was. So that was the turning point of my life journey.
Yeah.
And then I went to school and I studied, and that is where the story starts with finding me.
Finding you.
And then there's other chapters, interesting chapters that I cannot go into. Some of them I think after this interview I'm going to omit.
So you're going to omit? No, right? Everything that you find, like, it needs to be in there.
And remember, I have grandchildren and I have a legacy that I need to leave behind when I'm no longer here. Yeah. When they read, they must not say,
my life, live your life as well.
Yeah, but imagine they're like, oh, grandma. And the other one will be like, and I'm named after her. So you don't want that.
Like, I'm following your footsteps. Like,
they must create their own path.
Okay, I see, perfect. But that's one thing I was looking at. I was like, at least, not immediately. It's like the way you're living your life. You're just making sure. It was one thing that I was having with your mentor. It was like, he was wondering like the conversations that you and your father must have had that even today, after so many years, is still your motivation. Is like, it's priceless. He didn't even have words. You just stood there on a video call. We just looked at each other. I was like, we have people like this living amongst us. It was like, exactly. We have people like this.
Yeah, no, my dad, I sometimes wish he lived longer because I feel there's a lot of interesting things that he would have shared. Although he once gave me a hiding of a lifetime. This one I think I should not mention.
Well, it's not like there will be police knocking on the door.
Oh, it's a very naughty thing that I did. At home, remember back in the days we had.
Oh, talking about the naughty one, I still have one more story. Thank you for saying that.
Yeah, so
you should be doing it, yeah.
So at home we had a Mnet decoder back in the days, and then I knew if my father had the TV guide, and the remote. There's something playing that night that I'm not supposed to see. And guess what I did?
You found...
I went out of my bedroom and then I went into the lounge and reduced the volume to the
found you.
And I fell asleep in front of the TV. And what woke me up? A belt. I got a hiding of a lifetime. I still have scars here.
Yeah,
from that beating.
Never again.
And no, I just got smarter. Just make sure you don't get caught.
Just make sure you don't get...
No, I'm just kidding. No. The child in me. Look, I was a very curious child, and I made sure I wasn't caught. I didn't stop, but I was not caught. As soon as you were falling asleep, you go to bed. So the learnings that I got from that was, I'm not going to say to my kids, don't. I need to explain why. And tell them that you can go ahead and do it. Just when it's happening, you're not allowed to come back to me and cry. Because I told you. It's like with the story I told you with my daughter. When she turned 18, I said, your first drink. Then she had it. Then she went out with her friend. She went back. And I'm like, okay. I cleaned the mess. And then she came back the second time. She did the same thing. I said, oh, hell no, I'm not going to clean this mess. And I told my sons, no one is cleaning this. Leave it as it is. I'm going to wake her up 4 o'clock in the morning. And while she was sleeping, she's like, what are you doing? I said, all school on you. You don't do this. Who are you taking after? Have you ever seen me doing such in the house? You said, I said, then why are you doing it? The first time you did it, I thought it's a mistake, but now it's becoming a norm. And since then, I have an amazing child. We talk about things. I have like the type of conversations I have with my kids. Sometimes you'll think we are friends. We talk about things. And when she was dating, she's like, oh, Mom, I'm dating. I said, oh, that is good for you. And then after that, he was like, no.
Did you tell them about Kijima Norman? I was just leaving there.
Sorry. What else do you have? Now I'm worried.
Hey, I do my work.
That happened a long time ago.
Kijima Norman.
Do you even know it? Or have you heard about it?
Now I know about it because I got told about it. I didn't know.
You must ask your mama about it because they know it. It was on TV.
Yeah.
You know what happened? I told you I was always very curious. I always wanted things. I entered a competition. Before that one, I saw a competition on a snowflake flower thing that you win a white kitchen. And I pictured my life with a white kitchen. And I entered that competition and nothing happened. It was like, this is not fair. It's a competition. Somebody must win it.
Yeah.
And then the Kijima Norman one was aired on TV. I'm like, then bought an envelope and a stamp, entered the competition, and then sent it. And then they called our landline.
Yeah.
And then they said, no, you are too young, so your mother must enter this thing. I said, and then they came to our house, cameras, lights, action, and my mother was there directing Norman. It was fun, and it was aired on TV. That could have been me if I was not young.
Yeah.
So I always wanted to be on TV.
Oh, yeah. You were so young that and your mom had to go and in the trolley. And,
no one was in the shop with a trolley. Yeah. My mother was with a map. Directing Norman.
Like on the line,
Yes. So it's like, tell me, do you see this? There's a machine. And then like they put a little puzzle on the side to understand what is this. And then she's like, it's a machine. No, go this, go there. There's a television. There's a what? And then they put another card. It was I don't know why they ended shows like that, but it was fun. And my mom won things. They came home and then she donated them to our church. And then I was there, at least I got to stand there. I have a photo holding the teddy bear. And then I got to stand there, and then they were given to our church because it was a donation that my mother did. So it was fun. Wow. Do you remember that she was small? Yeah. She was still a child. Like, wow.
Yeah, so like she remembers those moments.
Wow.
It's like,
Wow.
Man, you know what? Had enough time chatting, can go for days about this.
Oh, wow. Yeah. But you just brought back some memories.
I brought back some memories, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Kijima Norman.
Yeah, but just like summarizing what Joey said and your mentor. For like they mentioned, like Joey mentioned, like you're a multifaceted person. Like whatever you set your mind on, you just go after it and get it. And then your mentor mentioned like your resilience and it's tremendous and he likes that. And the things that you do for the community is the betterment for the community. And you're a very versatile individual. You like taking on challenges and stuff like that. And it will make you just that's what led to be an executive in the making.
Oh,
we talk about it. It was like she's this kind of person. She likes helping people. It's a natural thing to you. It's not like something that you're forced to do. It's like it comes naturally. You like seeing people win. That's what you want. And from all of this, I was like, remember you mentioned like you were getting nervous? After having discussions with both of them, I was like, now I'm getting nervous because I have to put this together in the right way. So I was like doing this. I was like, we have like someone like this, like walking this earth with us. And we have all this knowledge and we like helping people. We like seeing people win. So like, I really appreciate it. And that's what I'm trying to do with this as well. And then hopefully like someone will be watching this will find like inspiration from your story, what you've achieved and what you've done for people. It's not easy. I know it's not easy. Still young, but yeah.
I still feel young and hard. Apart from what my daughter always reminds me of. The age clock is busy doing this.
Yeah. Yeah, but thank you for just having this morning session with me.
No, thank you for having me. I get to be on TV the second time.
The second time.
I when I went to London for representing Regent Business School at the launch of Honoris United Universities, they made a YouTube clip. I'm like, okay, and then I looked at it, I'm like, wow, I looked young.
You look young.
I looked at it, I'm like, listen to her talking about integration, regional integration.
Yeah.
It was interesting.
Well, you have one now where you are like a bit older. So, yeah.
And then another one is coming with Finding Meaning.
Exactly. Perfect.
And then I have
another one this story.
No, thank you, Gregory, for doing this. It's really amazing. I think you've given me a platform where I will also maybe pause and look at it and ask myself questions. I'm like, wow, what a journey.
Yeah.
Sometimes we never really know that we moved, but when you have moments like this to reflect, then you get to see that I may not be where I want to be, but I'm actually moving because I'm not where I was 5 years ago.
Yeah.
I'm not where I was 15 years ago. That young girl from Moloko Mohale or from Seshego who was playing on the streets, calling other kids to do drum majorities and dramas and stuff. Now she's talking about starting a women forum for projects and engineering in an organization like Sasol. Wow.
Writing a book. You didn't have a phone back then. You just went to a bar university.
Using a bus.
Yeah.
And now I don't even remember the last time I used public transport. I think we are spoiled for choice.
Nah. You're not spoiled. Maybe our generation, your kids then are spoiled.
My kids never used a public transport.
You see.
My daughter, when she turned 18, I was like, child, they are the keys.
Drive. Yeah.
And she's been driving ever since. And I look at her, I'm like, the first time I drove the electric bike that they gave me, I scratched it on the side. I couldn't pack it into the garage. I saw the door got smaller.
When you go there?
Yes, it got smaller. And then when I went in, and then I went to Stan Khashan, he was one of the directors. I said, I had an accident. And he said, what did you do? Went to the guy. He's like, this is nothing. I scratched the door. No, we have insurance, it will fix it. So it was really comforting. Like the people that one met along the way, the little things that they did, they really contributed to shaping me as an individual. And I believe I'm still growing and learning.
Perfect.
Because we're not where we want to be. I don't know where is that, but
yeah, it's more of that thing. And like you said, like we should reflect where you are. You once prayed to be where you are right now. So
now that we are here,
I mean, like that's the thing. Like you pray to be here. Why can't you just enjoy where you are right now? Because once you pray to be here, but now you're thinking about the next step.
Now I'm thinking about the 60-year-old Moloko.
Yeah,
I need to see her. When you knock at my door and I open that door, what do I see? I want to see. Well, obviously I'll have some wrinkles, and then maybe I'll be holding a cup of rooibos tea with a slice of lemon
with kids.
Grandchildren, maybe. Yes. And then I'll be saying, Gregory, you can come in. Oh, you are here. And then maybe there'll be Gregory Juniors also running around. You'll never know. That will be a great sight to see. But that 60-year-old Moloko, I need to bring her to life before she turns 60.
Before she turns 60.
Yes. So that when she gets to the 60, I'll be like, we've been doing this.
Yeah.
But at the moment, that picture is not.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I still need to work on it.
Well, when you get there at 60, it will be perfect. It will be clear.
And then I'll call you. So, remember the 60?
You remember that day? Yeah. Well, thank you.
No, thank you very much.
And people watching, I hope this was a very insightful one. And we'll see you in the next one. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, 2 hours.
2 hours? Are we that bad?
1 hour 55.
I will let